glad you're joining us to talk about our stitching and other stuff.
We're a mother-daughter,
Mm-hmm.
mother-daughter, because then there's going to be another little girl that comes on in case you're new to our channel.
Just making weird faces over there.
In case you can't tell, I'm the oldest mother.
And I'm the tired one.
Which also makes me the Mimi.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I miss having all three girls come on, so I'm still struggling to get them scheduled.
Yeah, they love doing it. They're just so busy. They have so many other things to do.
I know. I think once we finish with our school day, they're ready to just kind of check out. And if I'm great, I remember to put on their list for school to spend 10 to 15 minutes doing handicrafts. Yeah. But I keep forgetting. Every week I keep forgetting.
You don't do like little tea time anymore, do you?
We do like a lunch. We read aloud over lunch and do a few things. Like sometimes we'll do a drawing lesson, but I don't do it in the middle of the morning anymore. It was getting way too much to try and schedule a 10 o'clock tea time together and then try to get everybody going again on their stuff. So I broke that into our lunch hour. And then I know, but we did used to do that. That was kind of fun. So maybe we'll.
And Sarah and I were hoping to record together today, but we didn't get to. They had to scurry out of here at the crack of dawn because there's a mountain pass between my house and her house, and it was getting a lot of snow, and it was going to get worse throughout the day. So
yeah, we were worried it would get closed and we'd be stuck up at the top or something. So we were originally going to stay through today. We went over because my sister-in-law and brother had a baby shower yesterday. So I went over to be part of that little shower and then was going to stay all day today, but then it was predicting the roads were predicted to be pretty bad. And we have 4-wheel drive, so it wasn't too big of an issue. And my husband's a really confident snow driver, but still, I could tell he was nervous. So we left by like 8 this morning, which was a lot to get everybody dressed up, fed, packed, and in the car.
And they also, you're racing against if they're going to close the pass, because sometimes you'll be heading on up that pass and all of a sudden they close it and you're just stuck sitting there, and you could be sitting there for 3-4 hours, and nobody wants to do that with 3 little girls in the car.
We didn't. And we didn't really have a lot of food with us. We probably should have stopped and picked up some snacks, but we were just kind of let's go.
Yeah.
And then once we got over the pass, it was fine. And there wasn't really a lot of snow coming down out of the mountains. It was just like the 10 miles right at the summit. And then it was fine. We stopped for coffee and treats. And then we got home by 10:30 probably.
Yeah.
So actually, considering we were going pretty slow at the top, we've still made really good time.
Yeah.
But that meant we couldn't stay and record today like we had originally hoped to do.
Right.
So separated again. Next time.
We're on the sad bus today.
On the
sad and tired bus. We also, after the baby shower yesterday, had a big family dinner because we had all the kids over. And those are just tiring. And we always stay up too late because then we're having a good time.
And it was the baby shower was fun, and it wasn't very big. I mean, it was 14 people maybe, but I was so tired after. I haven't done any group gathering other than with, my brothers at your house for a year. And for some reason I was super fatigued. It's what is wrong with me? And I thought, well, I haven't done that for a year where you do small talk. And I mean, we were pretty socially distanced by sort of family group, but still.
And it wasn't hugely socially distant, and it wasn't our family. It was my daughter-in-law who's having the baby. It was her mom and at her house. And it's kind of interesting because her brother, his girlfriend's having a baby in another month. And so this grandma, all of a sudden, my daughter-in-law's mom's getting 2 babies within 2 months of each other.
So there was a lot of
So she did a duo shower for both of them. I mean, for both of them. And Cassidy's having a girl and her brother's girlfriend is having a boy. So it was just a lot. And there were a lot of people there that we didn't know. And we didn't really feel forced to socialize. They kind of stayed. Everybody, most people had a mask on, and it's hard to hear.
Yeah, I think that was one of the hardest parts. I think the acoustics in the room were kind of hard for hearing with the masks. And so normally in that kind of setting, I would probably use a lot of lip,
you kind of can tell.
Visual cues to follow. But when your mouth is covered, I couldn't really hear or use fill in the gaps. So I was having to work really hard to hear people occasionally. And anyway, it was this nice little shower and it was fun, but
baby showers are fun.
I know, who doesn't like doing baby showers?
So anyway.
So that's why we're not together like we thought we were going to be. And we said that last week. Oh, see, yeah, the sun is starting to move. So I may have to pause. Yeah, maybe if I just scoot a little. I'll just keep sliding back through the room.
Flosstube winter problems.
I know. Some people.
We have one girl. One girl.
Are you ready? My one girl who has stuff to show today? Because we're ready for you now. She's laying on the couch, just smiling at me. Yes, she's all ready.
On my feet.
Chop.
Everybody's grumpy today. Rosie's really grumpy today. She was super grumpy in the car.
Was
You
she?
already doing your stuff? So I should have made her take a nap, but instead they played outside for a little while.
Well, they didn't want to come home.
They
And
didn't.
they were up late.
They had things they wanted to do today. Here, you come up a little closer so you're in the light more.
But they get to do them next time.
And I'm kind of grumpy because I didn't want to come home yet.
I sat in my pajamas until 2 o'clock.
Grumpy. You're trying to pass me. I'm just saying I'm grumpy and then you're being difficult.
Shoving things in her face.
I'm grumpy. Leave me alone. Okay,
Oh, we have a face.
look.
We have a face. Look
What's
how
up, friends?
Tiny
Modernist. In case you haven't been watching before.
we've got some birch trees and a fox, right? Fox face.
Yeah. Is that white showing up? I can't really see.
A little bit. It's pretty bright. But
Really bright. I know.
yeah, we can see it. You just need to get it a little closer.
Here, let me see.
There we go. Yeah, so she's got trees down the side.
Here's the picture. This picture is getting so beat up.
I know. So she's doing the third one over.
Copied it out of that magazine and looks so
Yeah.
cute, Millie. Good job. Yep.
Good job,
works-
Mel. You did a lot on that because you didn't have any face last week.
I know. She works on it every night pretty much. So I don't know why I was thinking we didn't have anybody because I knew
You're a
Daddy's
night
reading
stitcher.
the Two Towers at night. And I'm
Mhm.
reading the Little Women
Mhm.
and Baby Island, which is a really cute one by Carol Ryrie Brink. And
Our baby
you
island.
like that? Yeah, I love that one. And I haven't read it out loud with Rosie. I read it aloud to the other two when they were younger. And so I thought, oh, we'll do that one. So I sort of alternate Little Women, which is a higher level book, and then Baby Island. And then Two Towers is pretty high level, but Rosie's following it and
Mhm.
they all seem to enjoy it. So
Yeah.
Millie cross stitches that whole time, and usually I do too.
Yeah.
A string cheese would be fine.
Okay.
A string cheese would be fine.
So I have a blast from the past finish.
Oh, good.
I don't know what year I stitched this. I don't know if I stitched it when we lived in Minnesota, if I stitched it after we moved back here. And it is,
Oh, yeah, that was on the wall somewhere. Where was that?
a long time, probably in the family room. I didn't have great decorating skills back in the day.
Probably just only had
This
stuff.
was probably not the frame it was in. I found it tucked in somewhere recently, and I have another piece that did sit in this frame. Maybe this was in it first, and then I put the other one in here. And when I took them down, I just stored them together. And I want to tell you that it is another stellar framing job. You can see where I've taped whatever used to be in there. I taped it, but look at that lacing.
Really
So-
good job.
So effective. It's so
Oh, it's loose. It's holding it on there.
But it did. It hasn't moved.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I did several of these, and it wasn't. Forget who designed these, but it was back in the heyday of like Precious Moments and stuff. It might have been the same designer. I should look that up, but I don't
It
know.
looks
But anyway,
kind of like also that illustrator Joan Englund. She does all those like illustrations of like little children, and they don't really have much of a face except an eye. You know what I'm?
Look at that crazy backstitching though.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. Look at her hair and her dress.
Everything is backstitched. Their shoes.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And see, that's how the patterns were. So I think for a lot of people that are my age that stitch, especially that are getting back into it, they don't understand the whole, why is everybody griping about the
Move it around a little more so it flops back out. I like Yeah, I know. Like the amount of backstitching in projects now is like way less. So.
Well, you know, I was just counting on it being flush against the wall, so I wasn't going to go like that. But yeah, I mean, this was just normal. That was how all the patterns were. Really. In fact, I think I remember when I got back into stitching a couple of years ago, I was like, huh, there's not a lot of backstitching.
Which is really interesting because older cross stitching samplers and stuff don't have that. Like that was definitely stylistically popular for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like there's more of a return. Like there's still pieces like that with lots of, but designers tend to not use quite as much, it seems like now. And so then it's kind of a return to more traditional.
Yeah. And they must be, I don't know the difference. They're just designing things that don't need that much definition or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, or they just rely a little bit less on it to do that. And there's maybe more shading or something now instead.
Yeah, I think so. It is really nice. I think this is done on just Ada, probably 18 count Ada.
Yeah, it looked like Ada.
Stitches are really nice. The stitches are that nice now. Okay,
I have a finish as well. It's not a new finish, but it's not an old finish, it's a new finish. And I'm so proud because it's been a long time, I feel like, since I had a finish. And so I finished, let me see if I can get the lighting right.
Wait, didn't you show this last week?
No, I didn't have it finished. I finished it this week.
Oh, you must have just, I must have seen it on Instagram.
Almost done here. I'm going to do this, even though you can see my junky.
And I think I saw it on Instagram.
I did share a picture. I'm trying to get this right. I'm really sorry about the lighting. I have to sit somewhere funny so the light gets on my face, but now it's moved. Okay, I come forward.
If you just hold it, that's okay. I mean, the color, you get the definition. Like the blue might be a little washed out, but you can see all the little details. So it took me forever to figure out what that was down there by those hydrangeas at the bottom.
You mean the little geraniums?
And those little sandals.
The espadrilles or whatever you would call them?
Yeah, I didn't know what they were for a long time. I thought,
on the pattern itself, they look weird, but.
Yeah, when you stitch them.
Scoot back a little more and see if that helps. I'm going to have this problem with everything I share now. There.
Yeah.
Put that back behind it again to kind of light.
Got light coming behind. There you go.
Oh, it's just winter. So hard. Yeah, that's a little better, right? Is that coming through more? I thought this was just such a pretty piece, and I just decided I am finishing this week. So I stayed up late one night and finished those. I love the geraniums.
Yeah, they're really pretty. Her color choices on this one are really sweet.
I can't get it to zoom. You know, like I can't get it.
Yeah, I can see them though.
Anyway, so before I move on from talking about that, I'm going to give away the pattern as just stitchy kindness rather than a giveaway. I'm just going to pass the stash. So just sort of the first comment on our video that just says that they are interested in the Things of Summer from Alicia Paulson. I will pass the pattern. I might just do the pattern. I might throw in, I don't know if you even want the threads. Well, you can indicate whether you want me to throw in the leftover threads or not from the kit.
A lot of them left.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably enough to do another one.
And even if they had to fill in with a few of the smaller.
They're just DMC, so you could easily fill in. Yeah. If you were to run out.
A lot of DMC, so it is nice to get them.
Yeah, so I'll pass that along too. So whoever says first that they're interested in the Things of Summer pattern, and then also indicate if you don't want the threads or if you do, because I'm fine either way. Should we talk about our plans for next weekend before we go on with other stuff so that it's right towards the beginning?
Yeah, let's do that.
You want to talk about it first or you want me to?
Well, we can both talk about it, but we had talked last week a little bit that, some of our commenters talk about our followers, not our commenters, but they comment about how much they enjoy watching us and they feel like they're just stitching with friends. And several people have gone through some really, really tough things in the last year. I mean, really tough things. And several people are alone and they're quarantining alone and they don't have people around or they're not stitching with people. And so we thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to do like a Zoom stitching meetup kind of thing, like a virtual meetup? So
we were all going to coffee to have a meetup, but we can't do that. And we're all spread out anyway. So
that was our thought. And then Sarah said, oh, well, I have access to a professional Zoom account, which means you can have multiple more. We can do this unlimited because it's just two of us. But if you have more than two people, you have to have a professional account. And she
Or
has
only like do it for 40 minutes, but we wanted to have like the time we wanted.
And we could have done 40 minutes and then another link to link back up again, which is what we used to do for our small group Bible study last year.
But we don't need to do that because my husband has an account, I think through because he's of school or something. So, so I can set up kind of an unlimited minutes Zoom call. And so we're going to do that next Saturday, and we're going to do it at 12:30 Pacific time. So that
is the 13th.
So it's February 13th, which actually works out perfectly. As one person said last week, I can't remember who commented, that they said, oh, that's awesome because that's Galentine's Day. So if you've ever watched Parks and Rec.
Oh, is that where that came from?
Yes, that's where it came from. I Googled it because Jesse said, I think that might have come from Parks and Rec, which is one of my favorite shows.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Leslie Knope created Galentine's Day. So we can celebrate Galentine's Day by clicking in through Zoom together with all our gal friends. Cross stitch a little bit. So we have, I think like there's like 13 or 14 of us already who have emailed, well, plus us, so probably 11 or 12 who have emailed asking to be included in the email link, because I decided I wanted to do it over email. So if you're interested in joining us, find our email in the description box below and email us, and I will include you on the Zoom link email so that you can also join. That way we can keep out any weirdos, or rather than, I didn't want to just post it publicly on social media and then have, I just don't know. So I wanted to keep it private. So I'll send you an email link with the link to, I'll send you an email with the link to the meeting, and it usually should have a password included. So you'll need to just read the email and click through. Most people, I think at this point, have done Zoom, but if you haven't before, just download it on an app on your phone. Laptops or computers are a little easier because you can see everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
I think if you do it on your phone, you end up with just the speaker shows up. But I think it's kind of fun to have a mosaic. So I always like to do it on my laptop. So I can see everybody's faces. And we're just going to stitch together and chat and
have a cup of something.
Yeah, bring a cup of tea or coffee. So email me if you're interested, or us. Email our Stitch and Stuff. I think it's StitchedStuffXS@gmail.com, and just I'm kind of manage that. So shoot me an email and I will put you, I have a running list now of all the emails that I need to include when I send that out. And I'll send that out sometime, probably midweek. I'll schedule it and send out that email. So be watching for that to come through. And then join us on next Saturday, February 13th, 2021, in case you're watching this way in the future. And at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time.
And if you have any problems or questions about it, or just, again, email that group. And I'm sure Sarah will be checking that email and we'll help out as much as we can. Yeah. But we thought that would be fun.
Excited. I think it'll be really fun.
There's you can stay
already. Yeah. And I'm going to bring my stitching, and I'm planning to cross stitch. So bring your stitching. We'll just pretend we're in a little stitching circle and cross stitch, or don't if you don't want to. There's also no pressure.
But bring, if you don't want to stitch, at least bring something to show us that you're working on.
Yeah, we want to have everybody have a little show and tell time to show a current whip or a favorite finish, whatever, just something, because we want to kind of just make it fun. Several people that are joining already have Flosstubes, so that's fun because we'll get to chat with people that we watch. But also, what's also fun about it is that there are people who don't have their own Flosstube that I know, and they will have an avenue to show
what they're stitching.
I'm really excited about it.
I was gonna say, never mind. It just kind of went in and out the other side.
What do you think of it? Yeah. So that we wanted to make sure we talked about that, or I wanted to make sure we talked about that at the beginning, because last time we remembered at the very end of an 1.5 hour long video, and I was like, I couldn't believe how many people actually watch all the way to the end and knew.
I know.
To email.
Thank you, because that was a really long.
I love that.
I felt like that was a really long episode.
It was long.
Yeah.
But I told her we've been averaging about that much time. We're just chatty. We just like to chat.
Just chat about this stuff. So that's our big event.
That's the big fun thing coming up.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to add to that.
No,
And
me-
again, I think what did we just plan for a couple hours, but people can just come and go. I mean, if you can't, you know.
yeah, we'll just be there at least from 12:30 to 1:30, and then yeah, yeah.
But
If you don't
nobody-
come right at 12:30, go ahead and try to click through. And if we're not there, like if it's ended already by 1:30 or 2, I don't know how long we're gonna chat.
Yeah.
I don't have a firm end time. It'll be something that if people want to come and then leave, that's fine.
I have nothing else going until dinner time that night, so
I
it's not like I'm gonna have to hop off.
Other than normal
Oh.
mom things.
Yeah. So that would be fun. Okay.
That will be fun. Do you want to show your whips first, or do you want?
I can. So last week, part of what took so long too, we were talking about how we were organizing our stitching, especially me because Bringo was over. And so I had downloaded the Tiny Decisions wheel.
Yeah.
And so the main things that I was supposed to work, I mean, other than my WIPGO pieces, which I did not touch,
Really?
which is egg, I was going to do.
The other thing I was going to say too about next weekend, I think it's WIPGO weekend.
It is.
Actually, yeah, bring your stitching and get some, if you're doing WIPGO, you can get.
WIPGO. Yeah, stitch on your WIPGO
Sorry,
piece.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's just one other.
Oh, that's okay.
perfect
And I
time
had just seen
reminder.
that. Yeah, WIPGO weekend next weekend, which is basically you make a
Right.
post. Yeah, you make a post. It's the second weekend of the month. You make a post on her thread on Facebook on WIPGO. And I think it's an event. I think she actually has an event in the event tab
Yeah,
for it.
I think so too. I can't
And
remember.
then you post what your goal is. And it can be anything, you know, for your WIPGO piece. And you put a picture of your starting point. And if you don't even get around to working on it, you still get drawn because she's doing drawings. You're getting entries into drawings at the end of the year. Just by making that first post, you get 1 or 2 tickets or whatever. And then if you do make your goal, then you go back at the end of the weekend and post your ending picture, and then you get more chances at winning. So that's what WIPGO weekend is in a very, very quick synopsis. She's got a video explaining that on the WIPGO page. So yeah, that'd be fun. But I did not work on Egg Gather, and I was going to, and I'll tell you why I didn't get as much stuff. I had big goals. I mean, I had spun for all of our hashtags, right? But this one piece that I worked on that was not really part of it was an extra piece. It was the Barbara Anna Dreaming Girl Sal.
I worked on
Her
that.
and I both started, and it's this girl. That's only part of it. And I was on the struggle bus on this one all week. I started it. It came out Monday. I think I started it Monday night. Really, really not a great day at work. I don't think I stitched much. But anyway, so she's got red hair. And here was my dilemma, folks. Her hair is this color, which showed up just fine on my purple fabric. But she's got star and swirls throughout her hair. That was
backwards, actually. I think the lighter color is the main.
Oh, whatever.
Color is the swirl.
So this one showed up, you're right. And this darker one.
Just blend it
Well,
in.
first of all, actually, I thought I'd only ripped this out twice. I ripped it out 3 times because I started it. Actually, I think I ripped it out 4 times. I started just a tiny little bit with 2 strands over 2 because this is a 32 count and it looked too bulky. So I ripped out the little bit that I had started and I started doing it 1 over 2 with this color. And it was fun. I did this one little section and then I was going to fill in the star pattern, and this did not show up at all, hardly at all, with the 1 over 2. So I thought, okay, I ripped it out. I had ripped it all out, did it all over again, 2 over 2 again, still did not like it, ripped it out because I saw somebody else had done, Mrs. Sadis Silks had done it, and she had done a darker brownish black for this design in her hair. Started that, didn't get very far, hated it, ripped it out. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this piece? I really love it. And I love this fabric. And I was scrolling through the hashtag on Instagram for it. And somebody had posted a picture and they were doing the hair in a gray. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I never think to think outside the box. And her caption, eventually I'll link to her. Her caption was, this gray hair girl, or this gray hair still has dreams. And I loved it. And hers was a little bit browner, her colors. And she didn't even have a DMC equivalent because she was just using flosses from a kit that she had left over, but they were DMCs of some kind.
Hang on, I might have found it. I was wondering if this was.
I have it. I can find it easily.
Was it on a dark gray fabric? Like
yeah.
That?
Yeah, that was it. So she did it kind of in a.
Oh, so she did the middle, the like snowflakes or stars or whatever in a lighter color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You're doing the opposite.
I'm doing it the opposite. And actually, I had picked 762 for the main color of hair. And then I was going to do 318. Sarah and I were talking about it for the design in the middle.
It's like a dark.
It's a dark gray, and I did it, and I ripped it out. I hated it.
You did? Oh, you didn't tell me that.
It was too dark. So
what are you gonna do now?
I'm actually going to substitute. I'm going to keep it gray, but I'm going to substitute, instead of the 318, I'm going to do, let me find it really quick, 415.
Oh yeah, that's a little bit lighter.
It's a little bit lighter. It's darker than this, but not too dark. I didn't want too much of a contrast. It's supposed to blend in a little bit.
Right.
So I just thought the 318 was just too dark. So that's my saga. This took up a lot of time for this pathetic little amount of stitching. So that meant I didn't do some of my spins that I was supposed to do, but I did do a few. I kind of got caught up a little bit on Friday and Thursday night. And so what I did manage to work on, one of the things, oh wait, this is a WIPGO piece. I did work on this one. Oh. I was thinking it wasn't. I was thinking another one was my WIPGO. I worked on my Hawk Run Hollow.
I'm wondering if I turn this way a little bit, if I'll be, I'm seeing the sun creeping my way.
Oh yeah. Hawk Run Hollow Christmas piece.
Don't mind me, just sliding around.
Over here. So I did a little bit on my Hawk Run Hollow. I did this crown. I did that little motif, and I did this crown.
Oh, you are almost there with that one, aren't you?
I have his feet to do. I have a couple other little crowns, but I'm missing one color. And then I heard the bells on Christmas Day, and then the border around it. So
the border.
It will, and the words won't take very long either. They're pretty basic. So it's within reach. And I would love to unofficially say my goal is to finish it this square this month, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what will happen? And then my other piece I was supposed to work on for either Wednesday or Monday was my winter's piece that I started in January for my magazine monthly, and I really love it.
Oh yeah.
And I have quite a bit on it. I don't, it's not a hard piece, except for I'm using gold. I did not work on this. I didn't work on the star, but I did basically all of the snowman. Well, he's not filled in. I got to fill him in. But I did his nose and his mouth and his hands and the outline.
Does he have a third?
Yeah, he has a third little roly-poly. And then there's snowflakes on either side of him.
Oh yeah.
And stars. Anyway, so I got a decent amount done on him.
Pretty. That'll be pretty.
Really stiff blue fabric, let me tell you. It's stiff. It's a witch-elt. I mean, it's not like cardboard, but it's stiffer than I normally work on. And then I worked on, for one of the spring or summers or something, I have a couple of different shepherd's bush scissor fobs that I started over the years that I have not finished. And actually, one of them I was a lot farther along than I thought, but I didn't pull that one out. I pulled this one out. And it says, the front, it's going to be really hard to see. It's a little sheep and some hearts and some flowers. This is the front of it.
Oh, you can kind of see the little sheep's head. Yeah.
And then the back of it is this garden basket. And it says, Garden of Joy. So I did, and this is another, people complain about shepherd's bush photography, and I am one of them, because this piece makes it look like it's very dark magentas, and it is not. It's upside down. Wait a minute. So what I worked on was, I did all the flowers all the way down. I had everything else done, so.
Really cute.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, they're
would be really cute with like Whisper or something.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
that would be cute. That'd be cute.
Oh yeah. And then the other one that I didn't work on, I actually have the front of it. It's another sheep, and it doesn't say anything on the back. It says Harmony. And on that one, I have the sheep done and half the grass done. And then there's a couple of hearts. So they're not, you know, and it was pretty fast to work on. You know, it wasn't
pretty quick.
Yeah. Look at this tiny little hoop I got.
Oh, that is little.
Yeah, it fits around that little square. So I worked on that. That was one of my spins. And then I worked on my Things of Summer, but it's not done. Just because Missy Pants over there finished hers doesn't mean I finished mine. So I worked on, actually.
Oh yeah, I really beat you.
Shush up. Shush it. Shush it. This honeycomb, okay, not a happy camper about that honeycomb. I did my own version. She has you doing it over half stitches at angles, and I just made my own. I thought it doesn't matter. It looks fine.
Let me see.
I made mine more squarish.
Can't tell anything about. I can't tell a difference.
You turn yours around. Yours is upside. Oh no, I guess it is. Yours is taller. Mine's squattier.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it doesn't matter. It's not like I have anything linked to it.
Shoot, I can't. I have to hide my head so it doesn't keep trying to focus.
Yeah, so they're definitely different.
They are different.
So I did that.
To stitch, but yours looks really cute still. It looks fine.
I did the bees. Now nobody's gonna know. And I did this leaf. That's it. That's all I did on this. But I'm plugging along.
Yeah, you're not that far, really.
I'm not. I've got, you know, again, these things aren't gonna stitch themselves, are they?
No, you still have to do it.
Yeah. And then I think the last thing I really worked on. Oh, then I started my magazine monthly piece, which was the ABCs of Love. It was a magazine piece out of the Just Cross Stitch February or whatever. So it's this one.
Yeah.
Super, super simple, easy. I started it and I've got the ABCs. From here over, it's KL Love MNO. So
yeah,
this will be, I should be able to get this done.
Yeah.
This month. I picked something a little more reasonable. And there's my Milk and Cream Co. on the other side of the fabric.
You're going to rip it out or just cut it? Leave it out and cut it?
Just cut it.
Cut it out and throw it away.
After all the ripping I did this week,
No.
I really need it. I won't cut it. And then the last thing I worked on was my Joyful World.
Oh, yeah.
And this piece is kind of the piece I always just want to work on right now. And I'm doing February, and it's the ducks. Not really focusing very well. There it goes. So I was not doing, if you're new, I'm not doing the inside border. So I was trying to figure out, you know, where to start my February, because I wanted these to come pretty close to the end of January over here. And so I figured out the math, the counting, and I did it. And I did the grass. And so I did all of this.
Cute.
Yeah. And then over here, I'm just starting the duck.
I like that. I kind of wish I had done it that way.
What way?
I mean, without the border. I like the borders, I guess, but
the borders are cute. You just know how much I hate borders, and you just seem to bomb along. And
I like the borders. I like the flowers in the corners of the borders.
Yeah, and they are cute.
Yeah,
she's talking about these.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, curly cues. They're not really flowers, but they kind of are because they use
a little fleur-de-lis. It's like a little fleur-de-lis.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really, really loving that.
I know, it's really cute.
And I don't know. I think the whole key to me was working on one big piece. Because if you're new, Sarah and I did this as a stitch along, and I bailed on her after like a couple months because I was doing individual ones and I just am not a finisher. So I was like, I gotta frame all these or do something on a frame. And Sarah did all hers on one big piece. And I thought, I should just do that. Plus my husband said he could build me a frame. So
Yeah.
I was worried about it being too big. And that's really all I worked on.
Well, that's nothing shabby.
I mean, it's more than I thought. Yeah. Yeah. I made it for lost time.
Yeah. You did quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then many times I've slid my chair. Now I need to grab my projects because they didn't slide with me. Hang on. Well, a lot of my week was spent knitting because I was finishing up the little pattern for my new baby niece who's coming, but I forgot to take a picture of it all finished. So I'll have to have her take a picture and send it. But this is the picture on the pattern. I made this little heart warmer and I did it in like pinks, pale pinks and greens. I have the yarn right here.
Like a little poncho, but more fitted.
Yeah, with this yarn.
Super cute.
So I had like kind of olive green and oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Some pale pink. There you go, right there.
This is the perfect spot right here. This is a really good representation of what the color looks like. So I knit this and I did little heart buttons under the arms because it wraps, you wear it like a shawl and then it wraps around and crosses in the front and buttons to the back. Anyways, so cute. I really wish I'd made those for my babies, and then I decided, well, then the other baby, I should make a little hat for the other baby that we're going to the shower for. I don't know them at all, but still fun. So
we're nice that way.
So I quick knit up a little hat and then I thought, well, I've got this yarn left over. I should make my baby niece a new hat. So I did a lot of knitting. I got everything done and given for the shower and I thought it turned out cute. I didn't even take a picture of that cute striped hat I did. I didn't even remember to take a picture at all.
Well, she was finishing it the morning of, and we were trying to knit it. And when the pregnant girl isn't walking through my house, because these are my trailer dwellers that are on my property.
Yes. So she was visiting with us, which was wonderful.
Yeah, she loved, which was great. But we had things.
She went to bed and I was like, okay, I got a quick knit. So
I was wrapping.
You were wrapping, I was knitting. We got it all done and given. So my WIPGO pieces this month are the sunflower. This isn't going to be super fun to show progress on because I think it's not that. No, like when you have a big project, it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
But I'll do my best to show anyways. I did get quite a bit done this week.
Just keep jogging our memories.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Last week I just had green and yellow done here, but some of this wasn't filled in even.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I finished filling in here and then I did more. I think I did this week, some of this golden green color. And then I did this dark orange. So I'm working smack in the middle on, I think it's this flower. So I kind of am doing right here. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Here. So it's a huge project for me, but it is really pretty. I will love displaying this in a frame when it's done.
Yeah.
In the summertime. Oh,
yeah, that's a showstopper.
Yeah, I love the thought of doing that. So I worked on that a while because it's my WIPGO piece. So I'm trying to get 8 hours on that this month. And then I realized, oh shoot, I'm sitting on the project bag. There we go. My other WIPGO piece is Gathering Eggs from Nora Corbett. And I realized when I went to go start keeping time that I already had met my WIPGO goal because I was tracking the time I stitched it in January too. Was tracking my time on the multi-timer app. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm already done. But I decided to work another 8, see if I could get another 8 hours on it done, because make it my focus piece for the month. Partly because I love working on this. So it's not like I just wanted to work on it and then put it down. So, there we go. So this week, I'm working on the ruffle of her skirt, all these shaded colors here. So here is what I've done. This one's hard for me to put down.
So pretty. I love that ruffle.
Me too.
It's like a little portrait.
I don't know if you can tell, this is going to be a pale yellow where all this white look is.
Oh, sure.
but you can get the idea of how she uses shading to show the ruffle. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It
So-
is. But it's like a portrait.
Well, and so I was watching Kindred Stitcher this week. That'll be my shout out because she was doing a whip parade. Is her name Lisa? Lisa, Kindred Stitcher.
Yeah.
She was doing a whip parade. She did 3 episodes. One of them, the last one was from Mirabilia's. Oh my gosh, this woman has so many Mirabilias.
It's like the Mirabilia queen.
But she also has a ton of other stuff too.
Yeah,
She's
she's like a stitching queen.
very prolific.
Mhm.
So I was kind of working on her while I watched that video one night. I just kind of happened to be working on her and thought, oh, I'll watch this.
I should watch her. So we had a couple comments. Oh, we'd love to see a whip parade. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it would be like a 5-hour video.
I know. Maybe we would just break it up over a few different videos.
Yeah.
She said that Nora Corbett doesn't even stitch. She just designs, she paints. She's like, or whatever. She's an artist who creates them and then somebody charts them. Maybe she charts them, but she doesn't
And for all
actually
these
stitch.
years,
She's
stitch yet?
met her a few times at a different retreat or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can go
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Lisa's most recent.
Yeah.
Well, she might have another more recent one, but her whip parade Mirabilia. It's like whip parade number 3.
Apparently there's like, or there has been, I have no idea since 2020 ruined the world, but there was, I think, a yearly Nora Corbett retreat that
Right.
she go to. At least went to one year when I first started watching her. She went to that. She went to a bunch of retreats, and that was one of them. And I thought, whoa.
Well, she showed her Snow Queen, which was the reason when I saw that at the fair, that was the reason why I wanted to stitch the Snow Queen so bad. And her, oh gosh, hers is gorgeous. And it's like framed by somebody named Jill. I don't know. I don't know enough about these things to know how to think intelligently about it, but she hand paints the frame. Like she hand paints the mat and stuff. So it's like a hand painted mat in this gorgeous frame. Anyways, so go watch Lisa's video if you want to see some seriously gorgeous Mirabilias and Nora Corbett stuff and all things Mirabilia.
You know who else does not stitch? Teresa Kogut.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah, I heard that. Probably.
Yeah. I don't even know if
that's how you design prolifically. If you're not really stitching, then you have the time to design. I don't want to design that much. I want to stitch. Okay, this one I worked on this week as well. It's called Toile Sampler. It's from this book. I can tell I'm getting tired, like my words are not coming smoothly the way they normally are. I think I don't know why I'm so tired. I just am. This week I did all this, I think. I might have had the top flower to be done this week.
That's a lot.
I did all that. I know. Really love that little flower.
Come along. It's a lot of blue.
Yeah, I know. It is a lot of blue. Trying to find the right spot to hold it. It'll show.
Over more. There you go. Yeah, right there. Right there. We can see it.
How annoying, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Well, we can see your new piece, the new part, for sure. Yeah, that's good. It's really pretty.
I really like how this is turning out. And it's really nice to stitch on. I have just realized I love stitching on even weaves. I like the look of linen for a lot of pieces, but I love stitching on even weave. And this is an even weave, so it's really fun.
Yeah, even weave is much easier for me.
Yeah, me too. I can actually see where the holes are and I don't make nearly as many mistakes in counting.
I make a lot of counting mistakes on linen because there's always that little tiny hole that you don't see or that one thin thread. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I count and recount and recount.
I know.
So I don't feel like I can bounce around on a pattern very much. I have to kind of stitch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
I know. So even weave is nice. I really feel like I didn't touch that many projects this week. So the last thing I stitched, I don't have the picture, but it's the Dreaming Girl from Barbara Anna. I don't have an actual photo, but Mom showed it earlier.
Yeah, and you can find it on Instagram.
So I'm doing it on that fabric I dyed a few weeks ago. I'm going to try to just hold it back where I am so you can see. And I started with her face because I really wanted to just see her face come out.
Oh, did you work more on it since you showed it to me?
I worked on it in the car on the way home and got her face all finished except for one stitch that I missed right by her nose. And then I started her hair.
Pretty.
Trying to keep the camera from zipping out. There we go. That's pretty. Look at how pretty that is. The shading. I don't know if it's showing up, but these are like a purple color. Her eyelashes are like a dark purpley dusk color.
Yeah.
And I
Am I
love
gonna have to do gray eyelashes?
so pretty. It's just so delicate. Her little freckles. She makes me think of Millie a lot. Millie with all her little freckles and her delicate complexion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
clue number 2 comes out tomorrow?
I don't know. I was going to check today. Does it come out tomorrow? Somebody asked what in the comments what this hashtag is so that we can all see each other's. And there's one already going around, and I think it's Dreaming Girl Sal, all one word, all together. Dreaming Girl Sal. So I haven't posted any pictures, I don't think, using that hashtag, but I need to because she's coming along and looking really pretty.
Well, I haven't posted any pictures because
There's nothing to post.
well, I did. I posted a picture of when I was getting ready to frog it again.
I hate frogging like that. Oh, that's why I haven't dealt with that sweater on that other things of winter yet, because I'm just like, oh, I don't want to deal with it.
It's gonna get you. Okay.
I'll get there. That's all that I worked on, really. I don't have any haul. I didn't do any shopping or any.
I have minimal haul. I got some Amazon gift cards from work, like a Christmas bonus gift card and a birthday one and a 15-year anniversary one. And I thought, what am I gonna look for? Well, I had seen on Instagram and then I saw them in my needlework store. I think it's called Bothy Threads or Bothy Threads, Bothy. And what I have seen, what I knew that they did was those beautiful, like painted fabric with the silhouette of like Alice in Wonderland in black on this beautiful fabric. And I don't have a picture of it to show you, but anyway, they're gorgeous, but I didn't know what else they had. And they have all kinds of patterns and they have kits, and those are kits actually. So I went online and I bought a couple of wintry Christmas kits and they came finally. So the first one is this Happy Christmas, and it's actually a card, but I think I'm going to do it on and just make it into a pillow.
Cute.
It's on an Ada. It gives you the blue Ada. And he's not very big, but he's cute. And then the other one I got is called, what's it called? Snowy Stack.
Oh, that's really cute. Oh, I really like that one.
Isn't that cute? And these are sequins. So it comes with this little pack.
Cute.
Buttons and sequins and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And the threads are all already on there.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh wow. That's
on a blue too. So anyway, that was my haul.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. I think it's just all DMC. I know it's DMC. Oh wait.
Is it not their own threads? Or no?
It might be their own pre-sorted stranded cottons. Lana, a woolly thread. I don't know where the woolly thread is used on here.
Bear maybe?
Yeah, it doesn't look woolly though. But the fox, the sweater looks like it's kind of woolly. You probably can't see it. But I don't see a woolly thread in there. Anyway, we'll see. That was my big haul. I had a couple things on order from the Silver Needle. They were Brenda Gervais patterns. There's one that I really, really want. I just have been wanting it, and I don't even see it. Like 123 doesn't carry it. I don't know if Silver Needle is her website or if they just carry all of her stuff, but that's where you kind of go to see all of Gervais's stuff. But it's a piece that Priscilla from Stitching with the Housewives worked on. I think she finally finished it, but it was a piece she showed a couple of years ago during her mania, and then it came out again another time, and it's of a crow and a pumpkin head guy, I think, riding on a crow, flying with a crow. Anyway, I loved it. Couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it on eBay. They have it on that website. So I ordered it and a couple other ones that I hadn't seen by her. And I kept waiting and waiting for it to come. I'm like, what's going on? And so Friday, I woke up and there was a voicemail that 2 of them were out of stock. So they're just holding my whole order. I'm like, send me the other one. But anyway, it'll come.
Boo.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I have been trying to restrain myself. I do want to get some things finished.
I was thinking about picking people's brains or like about Qsnaps because I've been thinking about trying a Qsnap with my Snow Queen, especially that really big
Mm,
Mirabilia that I'm doing.
yeah.
I've been using a hoop with her because I'm doing it on a dark blue, and so it helps to keep it taut. But I love the idea of a Qsnap, I think, because it holds a bigger amount rather than my hoop, which is, it's a fairly big hoop, but it's still a hoop, like only about, I don't know, like smaller than the size of my face. But I don't know anything about Qsnaps. I don't know how they work. I don't know what the benefits are. So if you have like a link to somebody who's like done a little Qsnap tutorial, I could probably just Google it. I haven't tried that yet, but I've just been mulling it over in my mind. Like I should do a little research on Qsnaps and see if that's something worth looking at for, especially my bigger projects. I stitch in hand, so I tend to not use a lot of hoops anymore. I used to always stitch the other like down and up and down and up. But now I do the sewing method and I stitch in hand, but I can't really for that one. And I'm not even trying to, which is why I put it on a hoop, because I was like, well, I'm not going to stitch in hand. Yeah. But anyway, so if you are watching this and you know of anybody who's done a great, like just this is what a Qsnap is and this is what you do and this is why it's good. I don't even know. I just know people show projects and they talk about how they've taken it off the Qsnap or not. Like that's about the extent of my knowledge. And the other like kind of side question is it best to invest in an actual certain brand? Because Hobby Lobby has what looks like kind of their own brand, I think, of a Qsnap type thing, or is there kind of a quality difference between things? So if you know of any of this stuff, let me know in the comments, and because I kind of want to look into it and see what's worth investing in, because that piece is big and it's going to take me a long time, and I want it to be excellent because it's like artwork for me.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't have haul, but maybe you'll help enable me to get haul. I don't know.
There was no such thing as a Qsnap 15 years ago.
Well,
Qsnap
that I've ever heard of.
We just all used hoops.
I don't know.
I don't even know anybody. Maybe they were at the time. I just didn't know anybody that stitched in hand. We just all had hoops.
Yeah, I have no idea, because all I really knew was what you did for a long time.
Which did not include French knots.
Which didn't include French knots, but did include very careful care of the back of your project. So our giveaway, should we go into the giveaway? We did haul and then WIPs, finishes. Okay, so our giveaway last week was hens and chicks. And the winner of that giveaway, let me pull it up. I took a screenshot of the note, is Karen Houston Robb, who said, I'm starting on the Barbara Anna SAL today. I used to have chickens and there is nothing like fresh eggs. So now I love stitching chickens instead. Oh, congratulations, Karen. Email us at the email address in the description box below, so with your mailing address, so we can mail that out to you and give that to you, so you can stitch cute little hens and chicks. So thank you for everybody who left a comment. And this week's giveaway is something else new. This was sent to us, I think, by Rhonda Smith. I think Rhonda sent this to us. We're going to give away this one, this Little House Needleworks. It's old colonial, and you can stitch it in other colors if you want, or keep to the called for colors. I forgot to look to see if it's DMCs or if there's conversions. It is stitched in classic colorworks, but they all have DMC alternatives listed. So you could easily stitch this in or in classic colorworks, or just get creative and make the house a new color or whatever. Don't stitch it in 1798, stitch it to say 2021, or do keep it, whatever you want. But we're going to give this away. And should we do house for the comment,
or home?
I'm just thinking house because Little House. Home, we better decide. House. Why don't I ever think to decide this ahead of time? House. So just leave the word house in your comment, and that's the word I will search for. Of course, don't use giveaway, don't use free, all those things, because weirdos on the internet search for stuff. I can't even imagine, like, what? Why would you do that? And then we'll draw for that in our next video. So congratulations to Karen. and let us know this week.
Right.
Let's see.
I'm spinning really quick on my.
Oh, so you can talk about your plans. My plans are to keep going with my WIPGO pieces. I would like to make some more progress on that. I really want to make some focused progress on that sunflower one because I need some momentum, because it's not one of those projects that I tend to just pick up anytime I want. And so if I can really get some momentum and start to see the sunflowers appear, then I know I'll be more likely to pick it up and feel more motivated. But it is probably a long-term project for me.
Yeah.
And I will work on gathering eggs because I love working on that one. And that is my WIPGO piece. And I'm going to try to finish at least the first clue from the Barbara Anna Sal with the Dreaming Girl. Try to get all her hair done.
What is our Saturday? What's our Saturday tag? Is that summer or spring? I can't remember.
Springtime Saturday is what we usually do. And then summery Sunday. I remember because of the U in summery and Sunday, SU.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can't do that. It's a new start. Sorry. I'm respinning.
Ooh.
It was going to be the cricket. I bought that love one. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, why not Easter Peep? Okay. One more spin. Sunday. And then
the sun moved again. I mean, it always does this. The sun moves.
Funny because I had two get drawn twice.
I don't know. Oh,
so
be working a lot on two different projects.
Yeah, interesting. So Brenda Gervais had Easter Peep.
Hang on, is it Gervais or Gervais? Have I been saying it wrong as Gervais?
It's Gervais, probably Gervais. Brenda Gervais has a pattern called Easter Peep. It's a little chicken and he's got a little hat on and there's flowers, and I started it on a piece of fabric that I had dyed, and I don't like the colors of the thread on that fabric.
Like a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I actually started it a couple times. There seems to be a theme running through my stitching. So I tossed it aside, and I saw when I was going through all my patterns, I thought, I really love this pattern. So I'm going to start it over again. It's just done in DMC too. I don't think it even calls for fancy floss. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just using bad colors. They're the right colors. Anyway, so I'm just going to do it on a neutral fabric. So that actually came up for Sunday and for Sunday today and next Saturday for spring and summer. So that came up. My Christmas sleigh came up for Monday. For what are we calling it? Mitten Monday now or something? Merry Monday. I'm not.
Christmas sleigh? What's that one?
It's by Barbara Bergeau Richards piece.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I had just a tiny bit of start on. So that came up, and then
twice. I have that tree almost done.
Huh?
You have a pretty big start on that.
Oh yeah, I do. You're right. I have the tree done, but I have a little tiny bit of the dad's head done. That's what I was thinking about because I moved over. So that pattern is a bugger for me because I told you before the symbols are really hard to read. So that one takes a lot of thought.
Like enlarge it on your printer? Like
it's still blurry.
Oh, it's just blurry.
Yeah, they're blurry.
Blurry.
Yeah. So that came up, and then for Tuesday, which was truly lovely.
Tuesday is what we usually
was Sunflower Fairy.
Oh,
by Nora Corbett. And then Wednesday was that old piece I pulled out. I showed it in January it's a Cricut collection of the snowmen in the round. That came up.
Oh, wow.
And then for Thursday, which is, what are we calling that? Therapeutic? I don't even know what we called it. We gave it
I usually think of it as Therapeutic Thursday. So I just pull whatever looks good to stitch. Well, you can call it whatever you want.
Sunflower Fairy came up for that one again.
Oh, nice.
And then the last one was Friday, and it's my black work pumpkins. Well, it's not really black work. It's just stitched in black. Black work, I guess, is a whole different thing. But it's on that orange fabric. I'm pretty close to getting that one done.
Oh.
You know that orange?
Yeah,
those pumpkins? Yeah. So that's next Friday. So that's what I'm working on. And I will pull out Egg Gatherer, and I will pull out Joyful World, because that is my monthly focus piece, because, well, it might as well be in addition to WIPGO, because I want to get February done. I want to try to keep on track with the months. And they're not that hard. They're not, if you take the border out and any mistakes you make in the border that you have to keep redoing, it goes really fast. So I've that piece, and then Egg Gatherer needs to come out, and so does my Christmas and Hawk Run Hello. Those are my two WIPGOs. So I work a little bit on, I can work on 2 different things in one night. I don't have any hourly goals on my spins. It's
Yeah,
just touch
right.
them of some kind. So anyway, that's my plan. And I have this beautiful, beautiful cloud fibers phyllo, 80% wool, 20% silk, skein of yarn. I knit baby Penny a sweater out of this for going home from the hospital. And I need to find it. I don't want to do that pattern over again. So I need to find a different pattern for our new baby coming in May. So that's my other mission, is to find a pattern that I like and get it cast off.
Sweet.
Wish me luck.
Oh, good luck. You'll find something.
Yeah. I have very specific requirements. It needs to be seamless. And it needs to not have a crazy amount of lace in it. Be fast. Yeah.
Books. I don't know if I have anything really interesting to share about book talk this week. I'm still reading. Oh, I have one thing to share. So I also, on top of reading physical books, I also like audiobooks a lot because I can listen like while I do laundry or whatever, when the girls are outside playing or whatever. And there's a podcast I've listened to for years called StitchedLit. And I think I've talked about it here before, but maybe I did. And Heather Ordover is the host of that podcast, and she was a high school English teacher. Now she does other things. But she does, there used to be more craft talk, but I think her job has picked up a ton, and just, but usually there's some little piece about something crafty at the beginning, and then she picks a book, and then there's a reader who does it. Sometimes like one of the other listeners who's a great reader will do it or sign on for the book. But if she can find it in the public domain and it's a great recording, she'll use that. So she just is starting a new book series. So if you're looking for something interesting to look for and listen to while you're in the car or doing other stuff, look up StitchedLit. We're about to read together Northanger Abbey. And you don't even have to have the book because the audio is actually part of the podcast. So she does like a little introduction, or maybe she talks about some vocabulary specific to that time period that we wouldn't necessarily be familiar with, or some concepts or social, like she gives a lot of background on the author. It's really cool. I have loved it. I've listened to it since Rosie was at least a baby. So at least 8 years about.
Just do 1 episode a week. So one part of the book.
Typically does 1 episode a week until the book is done. And then she'll take a little break while she preps for the next book. So we finished, and you can listen to all the back episodes if you have a podcast app. So we just finished listening to The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. And I'm a big Bronte fan in general. So I really love Jane Eyre. It's probably one of my favorite books. I didn't like Wuthering Heights, but I really liked Tenant of Wildfell Hall. So you could, if you're looking for something and you want to just be able to power through a bunch of episodes like back to back, you could go back and listen to some of her other ones. She does all kinds of different ones. Like she tries to rotate. There was Anne of Green Gables was one of them a few books back. Tenant of Wildfell Hall, The Woman in White, which is really good. That's one of my favorite ones. She's done. I feel like
I have never listened to an audiobook.
That's so crazy to me.
I don't really have I didn't have an app really for it. The olden days, you had to kind of have, I mean, now I do on my phone. I just never think to do it. I had podcasts. Maybe I'll look at maybe listening to one of hers because at work now.
You'd probably like it.
I've tried to watch a few podcasts while I'm working, but it's too distracting.
Like Flosstubes or something?
Yeah, like Flosstubes. I'm usually trying to watch some Flosstubes. And I do have some favorite true crime podcasts that I listen to. But I can't listen to those all the time. I mean, I need to have a break. It's too much.
Right.
I do have a couple that I enjoy and some other podcasts but maybe I'll look into that.
Well, I love this one because I feel like her whole goal is to bring, like, it's not like highbrow. I mean, so we're going to be reading Jane Austen, but she makes it really accessible for anybody to sort of enjoy and listen to, and it's wonderful. So
she's starting now?
She just started Northanger Abbey. So the first episode went up this week. I haven't even finished listening to it, but go click over wherever you happen to listen to podcasts, or you can go to craftlit.com and stream it on her website. She makes it really easy to find. But I highly recommend that. So on top of the books that I've already talked about in the past that I'm kind of reading right now, I'm starting in that audiobook, but it's just like an hour a week or something. You know,
Right.
low commitment.
Yeah. I'm still reading Keeper of Lost Things. I'm getting there. I'm about 70% done. I'm kind of thinking, how is this going to all wrap up? Some people on Amazon said, oh, it was so predictable. And I'm like, I'm not predicting anything. It's kind of taken a turn a little bit where now there's this, like the house is a little bit haunted. Like there's a ghost that's doing things in the house. Making
that's
things.
not what I feel like that book was going to do at all.
No, and that's what some people criticize. I didn't read reviews before I bought it. I think I just read the synopsis, thought, oh, that looks good. But the other night I was thinking, because, well,
I hope we didn't just for anyone.
I already knew there was kind of a ghost element there because there was things that were happening, but now they've kind of identified that, oh yeah, it's a ghost. I'm like, okay. But what I wanted to know is really look at the reviews, because I told you that the main protagonist has these lost things that she's going to try to reunite with their owners, right? And every time in the book, when she picks up one of these lost things, she reads the caption of where it was found. And then the writing goes into italic, and it's the story behind the losing of this thing. And I started thinking, some of these stories of these lost things are dark.
Really dark.
They're dark. Like this last one, I'm like, what? It's like a little old lady who lives in this house, and she's lived in this house forever. Okay. And she owns it. It's in, this is in Britain. So it's probably like a little cottage, and all around her has been new growth. Like they've bought houses, tore them down, and this developer really wants her house, and he keeps coming around and bugging her. And her son finally filed like a restraining order against him from bugging her anymore. And so one day she's at home, and she has to have a plumber come out because she's got a plumbing issue upstairs. So this plumber comes out, and he's working in her house, and he's real nice, and then he leaves. And then a little while later, there's a knock on the door, and there's this lady there. And I forget now what the lady's excuse was for being there, but she invited her in, and she was just this nice lady. And she's like, and she's telling her woes about how somebody wants her to sell this house. And she's like, well, you shouldn't have to sell this house. And, blah, blah. And she's like an older lady with a cape on, and the visitor. And then she says, here. And so she kind of is not like a mind reader, but like a psychic, or like a modern day witch, maybe. That's not the term they use, but she has this little drawing of a little house. And she says, here, you just keep this. And she does some little juju over it and sprinkles some water on it, and says, now you just keep this here, and nothing will happen to your house as long as you have this here. Okay. So I'm like, this is weird. And that's the piece that's been lost and found by this other guy, right? It was this little, this paper of this house. Doesn't know what it's about. It's got some markings on it. So now you're hearing about this house, right? So then as you're reading this italicized part, this woman who visited her is now back in her penthouse somewhere. She's got her jeans on and her wig off, and she's a younger gal, and she's talking to none other than the developer who wants to buy that house. And he says, well, did you get the job done? And she said, yep, my plumber was there before I got there, and any minute now there should be a leak that's big enough to cause that roof to come crashing down on her. And then it flashes to the little old lady, and she's sitting in her house, and she's feeling peaceful for the first time because nobody's going to take her house away. And she looks up, and there's a brown stain, and it comes crashing down, and that's it.
That is dark. Terrible.
And that's not the first dark one. There were a couple other ones where somebody blew a house up. But then people are saying, such a charming book. I like part of it is charming, but part of this is not charming.
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
So far at 70%, she hasn't reunited anything with anybody because I think they're all dead.
That might be the premise. Maybe that's where it's going.
Maybe I'm just a little slow. There's another storyline. There's another storyline going on from 20 years earlier with a different set of characters. And somehow that storyline is going to merge with the current day lady trying to find the owner of all these tragically lost things. And I don't know how maybe
they're all ghosts. Maybe she's going to end up putting their souls to rest or something.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Or when you're reading at 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't make a lot of connections. Other than, I'm like, the first dark one, I thought, well, that's kind of dark. And then there might have been a little more lighthearted one, but this one's like,
Are they all dead at the end of the stories?
a lot of them are already dead.
Oh, weird.
Or like one was about a couple of sisters, and the one sister kind of stayed back to take care of the mom and dad as they got older and just hung in there. The other sister was a witch, not a witch, but just a meanie witch with a B. And she went off to do her own thing, and then she ends up getting dumped by her husband. She's got no money. She comes back to the house that the sisters inherited now since the parents are dead. And she wants her half of the house now, and she's going to live there, and she just makes life miserable for the sister who's just, and I think the sister that was the good sister does something bad to the sister.
My God.
Again, I'm trying to find the charming.
Weird. It kind of, I mean, I haven't read the book at all, but it kind of would tie into the idea that there's a ghost there. Like, it's kind of like, why is there a ghost there? But if that ends up being kind of connected in, that'll be interesting.
And the other part of this ghost story is that the guy that had been collecting all these things, he was supposed to get married, and his bride died in a tragic accident, like right before their wedding. And so he just missed her and never got over it, right? And so he had scattered her ashes in the rose garden below her bedroom, because she had already moved into the house, below the bedroom window of this house that this new character is living in. And then when he actually died and then gave the house to this new woman to keep, she and a friend and the gardener sprinkled his ashes on top of that so that they could be reunited. So it's kind of like, why, if everybody thinks it's her coming back, because all the things that are happening in the house are centering in that bedroom. Mm-hmm. But you're right, it might not be her at all. It might be some of these other crazy people that want their lost things buried.
Maybe it's a ghost story and you didn't even know that's what you were getting into.
It doesn't say anything about that in the.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned for the charming love story.
I'm going to put a little warning, spoiler alert.
I don't think anybody's probably reading this book.
Probably not, but if you are, or if you had started it, I'll just put a little spoiler alert at the beginning of this conversation, just in case it ends up being like, what?
It's more of a contemporary fiction. I think a lot of our readers are reading nice older things that
probably
nobody has said in our comments, oh, by the way, I'm reading that book too. I don't think. If you are reading this book, tell us in the comments what you think is going on, because I'm clearly lost.
Interesting.
I'm not really lost, but anyway, yeah. But I would like to listen to Anna Green Gables.
That one was the sweet one, and that reader was great too. I loved listening to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read those so long ago, and I thought about rereading all of them, and I just don't have enough reading time to read those and whatever else I want to read. So
the other nice thing that Heather does is, I think she still does this, is that there's a little blurb at the beginning that says, like, at the beginning of the episode, book talk starts at whatever minute. So if you want to kind of skip ahead and just get to the book when they, so there's not the chit, if you just don't care about the chit chatty stuff, or like every few years she organizes a tour of like a trip together with other listeners. And so this coming year they're going to Ireland, and people, like, it's expensive. I can't afford it, but they go with this tour guide company and they're going to tour parts of Ireland. So she does some chatting about that. So if you want to skip over all that, you can just zoom ahead to wherever the minute is that they say book talk starts at 15 minutes or whatever. And then, so it's wonderful. I really have loved Craftlit over the years. It's like a staple listening thing for me. See how I'm like crouched to the side?
And those are books that I would like to have read that I just never will read. I mean, Anne and Green Gables I would, but like, I'm not a big classics reader, but I like the idea of knowing those stories. That's attractive, Sarah.
I'm gonna have to move again. I'm trying to
probably, but we could just sign off.
No, well, we're about to, so I kind of was holding off, but my back is starting to hurt from sitting like this. Okay. All right, here, we'll just do this for another minute.
Anyway, so like us, subscribe to us, leave us a comment. If you want to be part of our Zoom, drop us an email in our email down below.
If you want to pay for me to go get a chiropractic adjustment after this. episode. Just let me know how much you want to contribute.
We'll have a GoFundMe for Sarah's back.
Thanks for watching. We hope that we hear from you about joining our Zoom chat next week.